Hello, fellow gunners. Well, we're going to do some more loading with the clayDot. This time, we're going to be using the 38 Special. I'll find some loads for the 38 Special with the clayDot. We're going to be using the Lyman 121 cone bullet. Now, when I cast this bullet, it comes out 125 grains. So if I refer to it as a 125 grain bullet, that's because that's where it casts for me. And then we're going to be using the Lee 158 grain round flat nose. Now this casts 161 grains. And then we're going to try the 95 grain bullet again. I'll probably just have a couple loads for it because, it's not too hopeful in my book. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to start out with the, if anybody's watched my videos, this is what the ducky thing's all about. I call these my little ducky bullets. I started out to powder coat these one night and wanted to come up with a unique and different color. And it came out looking what I called a little ducky eggshell. So that's where the ducky come in. All right, so little duckies, I'm going to start with 2.5 grains clayDot all the way up to 3.4 grains. With 0.2 grain intervals. See how that shoots. Now with the 161 grain Lee, I have 3 loads in it. I'll go 2.7, 2.9, and 3.1. That's where we're going with that. Then on the 95 grain bullet, we'll probably go to probably 3.5 and 3.7. Just see how that is and go from there if we do any good. Got a charge already measured. I think the last time I used my seating die, I used it for the 165 grain bullet, so I may have to adjust my depth on my bullet. Yeah, but quite a bit. There's my screwdriver. I'll bring you over here so you can see. Now this is an old die set. It's actually got a date on it of 72. The newer ones you can just leave. That's where I want it. I'll back that out. I'm pretty sure this die has got a road crimp. It being that old. So I'm going to put a crimp on it. I'm going to bring my seating stem down to match the bullet now. I got the height I want. Then when we get it out, we'll measure it. All right. So with this bullet in this 357 Special, 38 Special configuration, coming out with a 1.491. 1.491. Now, if you guys have seen in my previous videos, if you've seen any of my previous videos, I take my cartridge cases and I mark them 1 through 10 with the 5-shot row. That way I can put it in my journal 1 through 10, what the loads are for them 5 shots. It just makes it easier for me. And then when I get to the range, I can just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my different loads. Just convenient. I know everybody's got a different method of doing that. It's just my method. That one threw a little light. There we go. There we go. I think our die, seeing die's got it just perfect. Let's get a better look at that. The lighting seems to be better right here. Taking it right up to the edge of the cone. Now you can see, my brass is not the prettiest brass, but it's all Remington brass. I'm going to be using all Remington brass. What the deal is here is when I used to do some cowboy action shooting, I've had these loaded with probably 777 or Pyrodex. That's why my cases are kind of tarnished like that. All right, guys, I'm going to load these loads up, and I'll get back to you. All right, guys. On the 165 grain Lee flat nose, we're going to have an overall length of 1.456. That's what we're going to have. Here's what she looks like. On the 161 grain bullet, we're going to do 2.7, 2.9, and 3.1 of the clayDot. Alright, guys. Here's what the 95 grain bullet looks like. And here's the measurement on it, 1.422. And I loaded it 3.5 and 3.7. See where that's at, and we'll go from there. If any of you have seen where I loaded this bullet before, I used green dot. Green dot probably wasn't a good powder for it. Actually, it failed. It just didn't work. Open this, do a lot better. Alright guys, I'm going to show you my journal. That's my loads. What we'll be working on. Hopefully, next time you see me, I'll be at the range. Alright guys, I'm at the range. Got the little Rossi 971. We're going to try these 38 loads out. As you can see, it's raining. And I can't get to the 25-yard line again. There's actually people waiting to get to the benches in the rain. Gotta love shooters. So I'm out here at the 100-yard line again. Alright, here we go with 2.5 grains of gray dot, clayDot, behind the 125 grain Lyman cone. Yeah, my book is way too light. Alright guys, here we go with the 2.7. Still what I would call a little too light. Alright guys, now we're at the 2.9 grains of clayDot behind the little ducky bullet. Yeah, that felt more like a 38. So there you go. 2.9 grains is getting there. Here we go with 3.1. Selling them right down there at 100 yards. Almost hit what I was aiming at. It's not that much. Alright guys, here we go with the 3.4. Now, if you guys are paying real close attention, you would have noticed I've been going up 2 grain intervals. Until I got there, I went up 3. Now you know you're supposed to creep up on max. I just kind of jumped on it. But this just shouldn't be max. Shouldn't be seeing any sign of pressure. Alright, I actually hit what I was aiming at twice. Sweet deal. Alright guys, here we go with the 2.7 grains of clayDot behind the 161 grain Lee bullet. Ought to be able to see some pressures building on this one. I don't know. Here we go. That actually felt pretty good. This is kind of a dirty powder. I think it's still cleaner than red dot though. Alright guys, here we go with 2.9 grains clayDot behind the 161 grain Lee round flat nose. I didn't like where that was hitting, but still not seeing any pressure signs. Casings are coming out well. Oh. Alright. Alright, here we go with 3.1. On them last 5 rounds, I must not have been holding my mouth right. They were just all over the place. Those seemed to be right where I was putting them. There we go. Look here. Oh, no trouble extracting. Looking good. So, I think that powder worked really good in the 38 special. Now here's the loads that I worry about. These are the 95 grain. When I used this bullet with the green dot behind it, it done some funky things. Like I had not just misfires, but delayed fires. And we'll see what happens. Somebody's wanting to go down range, so I'm going to pause. All right, here we go. All right, that was 3.5 grains of clayDot behind the 95 grain bullet. Boy, that sure dirtied it. Oh, yeesh, that's really dirtier than the red dot. Ooh. Ooh. Alright, here we go with 3.7. I believe that's where it's at. 3.7 grains of clayDot behind that 95 grain bullet. I don't really think that 95 grain bullet's good for this 38 special. Every time I turn around, I have trouble with it. There we go. Now you guys noticed I only had 4 shots. When I went to prep my brass, there was one casing that had a rupture in the side of it, so I had to call it. I think behind this 95 grain bullet, I'm probably just going to get some bullseye or something. I don't know what that dude's shooting, but it is big and scary. They are too. Must be a soul car or something. Oof. Alright guys, next time I see you, I'll be at the bench. Alright guys, I'm back at the bench. Don't have any targets. It's hard to have targets when you're shooting 100 yards. But I'm not fighting the crowd for the 20-yard bench, man. It was... You know, what gets me more than anything is I didn't know ARs were limited to 25 yards. Well, anyway, let's get into what we've learned here. I'm using S&B primers. They tend to be a little bit softer than like Winchester or Remington or CCI. CCI to me always seemed to be a harder cased primer than any other primer. But I'm not seeing any pressure signs at all. The first two loads on the 125 grain bullet, my little ducky bullet, I felt was just a little light. Now, if that's what you like to shoot, it's light and want to shoot it all day and, 25 yards or 12 yards and steel or whatever. I don't think it's got enough energy for like a steel challenge or anything. But, yeah, it might be all right for that. But it don't feel like a 38. So, now from 2.9 up to 3.4, felt pretty good. And here's the 3.4 casing that we used. There's the picture of the primer. See, no pressure signs. Here's another food for thought. If you're seeing pressure signs in a 38, it could be too late. All right. And then let's see, right here. Here's the 3.1 grains clayDot behind the 161 grain Lee round flat nose bullet. See, no pressure. Casing's, it's dirty. This powder's a little more dirty. It seemed to be cleaner, actually, with the 125 grain bullet than it was with the heavier bullet. Now I'll explain that. I don't get that. And again, here we go with the 95 grain bullet. Man, look at how dirty that is. That just wasn't efficient at all. That powder behind that bullet. I know Fortune Cookie 45 had some pretty good luck with his promo powder behind that bullet, but he was shooting pretty fast. I really don't want to shoot that bullet that fast, but that might be how it goes before I really get what the bullet needs. So here's the gun's clear. Here's what the gun looks like. You can see a little dirt here, dirt up through here. All my flashlights are dead, so I don't have a flashlight to show you what it looks like in the forcing cone. But I'm sure it's okay. So, let's give a wrap up here on the 125 grain bullet on the Lyman cone. No problems up to 3.4 grains of clayDot. It actually, like I said, that at 100 yards, I actually hit twice what I was aiming at. There was a rock or something out there, and I hit it twice. And so I'd say at 25 yards, it's probably going to be a shooter. And of course, I only had the 3 different loads on the 161 grain bullet, but that's where I felt comfortable and worked out fine. What was that? 2.7, 2.9, and 3.1 grains of the clayDot behind the Lee 161 grain bullet. And then the 95. Just, I don't know. Like I said, down to range, I think I'm going to have to go with Bullseye to get what I need. Or I guess I could go with the Winchester 231 or something. Seems like I'm forgetting to say something. But here we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video.